We're on the third volume, not second volume. On prophethood and religion, yeah, the first volume is the introduction. Yani, let me show you. Here, starting from accountability, religious evidence, bidding the good and forbidding the evil, the knowledge of the creed, Islam and Iman, Ibadah. All that's the first volume. It's like the introduction. Then the second volume is about the names and attributes. So the attributes of Allah, all of that which we've just covered now. The names of Allah, Allah exists without a place, seeing Allah, destiny, all that is the second volume. Now we just finished that. Now we're on third volume. And so the author says, prophethood, in brief, nubuwah or nubu'ah, prophethood, is conveyance of the Creator's risala, the Creator's message to the people, as mercy and without obligation. Because had he not sent prophets, then we would have big trouble in our lives, in our existences. So sending the prophets was a mercy. And without an obligation to do so, Allah sent human messengers to the humans and genies to give them glad tidings and to warn them and to show them what they need in the worldly and religious matters. Allah says to the creations on Judgment Day, and this is Surah Al-An'am, Ayah 130, يا معشر الجن والإنس ألم يأتكم رسل. O ye assemblage of genies and humans, did there not come to you messengers? So that's proof that the messengers are sent to the humans and genies. Sending them is very important and wise because they show the way to success in this life and in the hereafter. Had Allah not sent any messenger, it would not be injustice. Footnote. If that is clear, then know that some of the Hanafis said that sending the messengers is a necessary matter. They do not mean that it is an obligation on Allah. They mean that there is wisdom in sending them. Yani, they mean it's important. Sending the messengers is something very important. And that sending the prophets is a necessity for the slaves because they need that. Just by the mind, one cannot deduce what things make one a winner on the day of judgment. And just by the mind, he can't even know there's a day of judgment. One cannot deduce that there are 5 prayers that are done in a particular way, standing and bowing and facing a particular direction, and also having prerequisites like wudu. Rather, one must take that from someone who conveys from Allah. Just by using our minds, we cannot deduce what the Prophet said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Also, the minds of the people are not equal. By simple observation, one can deduce that those who rely only on their minds to deduce what is good and bad have big disagreements about it. Yani, look at all the non-Muslim countries. They differ greatly about what's right and what's wrong. Why they differ like that? Because human being is unable in reality to accurately arrive at what is correct regarding what's lawful and unlawful always. He's not able to always know what is, or arrive at what is correct. He can't know what's correct, actually. He can't know it. He won't have a proof. Like, someone might say, what do you mean? You telling me that I need a proof to know that murder is wrong? No, I don't need a proof for that. So I'd say to him, yes, you do need a proof for that. He'd say, how? I don't know. I don't need a proof for that. So then I would say to him, then what do you say to the person who thinks he can do it? So are you going to tell him you can't do it? You have to tell him, right? So there you go, right there. Just the fact you need to tell him, that means you need a proof. Because he didn't have the proof. He didn't have any proof, so he thought he could kill people. Or even if killing is too extreme, but still works. Maybe someone thinks he can take people's belongings. So why he shouldn't be able to take someone else's belongings? He thinks he can. You don't really have a proof. You can't know what's lawful or unlawful in reality without taking that from a messenger. Yes, you could have a natural aversion to some behavior. Yes. It is confirmed that people have some natural aversion to some behavior, like killing people or mutilating people or mutilating animals, for example. Yes, but he still doesn't have a proof that he can't. Didn't the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam teach us that we shouldn't kill spiders? Yes. So how would you know that you shouldn't kill spiders? You wouldn't know. Someone might say that's a small thing. It's the same thing, really. It's the same. There's no difference between not being able to kill a spider and not being able to kill a human. Because when you go to war, can't you kill a human when you go to war? Yeah. Someone might say that's war. Okay, it's still killing though, right? Yeah, but it's war. Yeah, it's still killing though, right? Yes. Okay, so in one instance you saw that you could kill someone. In another instance you saw that you shouldn't be able to kill someone. What if someone said, nah, you're warring. Your warring is wrong. Your warfare is injustice. So yeah, you don't have a proof. You said here, why we can't kill a spider? The Prophet ﷺ forbade that. So that's it. You're welcome. Had Allah not sent any messenger, it would not be injustice. Ibn Furuq narrates from Al-Ash'ari that prophethood is not related to the slave's acts of obedience or acquisition of good deeds. Yani, one does not become a prophet by earning it. You can't earn the status of prophethood like you could earn the status of sainthood by consistent obedience. Prophethood is generosity and honor from Allah. Yani, we believe that the one who is a prophet because Allah made him a prophet, not for anything he did. But it is true that if Allah made him a prophet, he would be qualified. Yani, anyone that Allah did bestow the honor of prophethood upon him, he would have been yani, a prodigious genius. That's what I thought. I was thinking. I keep saying alpha genius. I was thinking, is there something better? Maybe prodigious. He would be a prodigious genius, this one who would become a prophet. And he would also be mannerly and pious and chaste and. So he would have those qualities. That doesn't mean he's going to be a prophet. He's only going to be a prophet because Allah made him like that. Allah made him a prophet. He specifies with it whomever he willed of his creatures, and whoever that is going to be qualified for it. As he said, يُؤْتِي الْحِكْمَةَ مَنْ يَشَاءُ. He gives the wisdom to whomever he wills, and the wisdom here is the prophethood. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud interpreted the hikmah, the wisdom, as the nubuwah, the prophethood, and the risala, the messengership. Had Allah bestowed it upon his slave at puberty, or at the maturity of his intellect without any previous worship, it would be valid. Or even before puberty. Allah could make someone a prophet before puberty. And he did. Who became a prophet before puberty? Who knows? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Someone's typing. I'll give you a chance. Prophet Yahya alayhi salatu wassalam. That's the meaning of the ayah. وَآتَيْنَاهُ الْحُكْمَ صَبِيًّا. We gave him the hukum as a child. The hukum here is the nubuwah. Some said Prophet Yusuf also became a prophet as a child when he was in the well. وَأَوْحَيْنَا إِلَيْهِ لَتُنَبِّئَنَّهُمْ بِأَمْرِهِمْ هَذَا وَهُمْ لَا يَشْعُرُونَ. Some interpreted this as after he was thrown into the well and he was just a boy. And we revealed to him, you shall inform them about what they did, and they won't even know who you are. Likewise, prophethood is not inherited, meaning you don't become a prophet because your father was. As for this saying of Allah, وَوَرِثَ سُلَيْمَانُ دَاوُودَ, Solomon inherited from David. Mufassir an-Nasafi said, قالوا أوتي النبوة مثل أبيه فكأنه ورثه وإلا فالنبوة لا تورث. They said it means, the scholars said this means he was given prophethood like his father. So it is as if he inherited from him. However, prophethood is not inherited. Therefore, it is possible that there be a prophet born of a blasphemer, as well as a blasphemous child of a prophet. Who was a prophet born from a kafir? That's an easy one. 5, 4. Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam. Yes, and a blasphemous child of a prophet. Who was a prophet with a blasphemous child? 5. Yes, Prophet Nuh alayhi salatu wassalam. Correct. In fact, many prophets were like that, as well as their sons. Ibn Furak also logged about Al-Ash'ari that he said, it is valid that Allah specify a prophet for every nation or include all nations under the law of one prophet. And there's an ayah that means that Allah sent a prophet to every nation. Some people think that means Allah sent a prophet of every race, or that Allah sent a prophet of every ethnicity. That's not the meaning, because it's possible that many nations would be under one prophet. And it's possible that a prophet is not indigenous to the people he sent to. What's a case of a prophet who is not indigenous to the people he was sent to, or to the land he was sent to? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Prophet Lut alayhi salatu wassalam. Where was Lot from? Anyone know? He was from Babylon. He migrated with Abraham alayhi salatu wassalam. And where did Allah send him? Sent him to Sodom and Gomorrah in Jordan, what is now presently Jordan. The Hindus, the majority of Indian blasphemers, and among them are the Barahima, who are like the Majus, but also from India, deny prophethood, claiming that the dispatch of prophets is impossible and futile. if the messenger came with what is necessitated by the mind, yani, this is their argument. They said, if the messenger came with what is necessitated by the mind, then by the mind we can do without him. He came with what the mind already necessitates. And had he come with what is refused by the mind, he would be rejected. Because we agree that the mind itself is evidence from Allah. And evidence from God cannot conflict with each other. If the mind is evidence from God, and a prophet is an evidence from God, and the mind deems something impossible, but a prophet comes and confirms it, then he wouldn't really be evidence from God, that prophet. So he's rejected. They said, this is not befitting of the all-wise. They claim that the people's minds are enough to know what makes one a winner. The people of truth said, you missed the third option. You only said 2 out of 3. You said either a prophet would come with what the mind necessitates, or he would come with what the mind invalidates. If he comes with what the mind necessitates, then we don't need him because we have our minds already. And if he comes with what the mind invalidates, then we must reject him for our minds. The people of truth said, you missed the third option, that the prophets come verifying what the mind is unable to verify independently. Yani, the prophets come verifying that about which the mind is neutral. Allah says in Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah 151, وَيُعَلِّمُكُم مَّا لَمْ تَكُونُوا تَعْلَمُونَ, and teaching you what you were not knowing. Yani, the prophet comes reciting to you the book and teaching you the wisdom, which is the prophetic way, and teaching you what you did not know. So then prophethood is not impossible or invalid. It's valid. And it's important. The message of the prophets is the embassy between God and his intelligent creatures. It removes their deficiency. It removes something they are lacking, or fills something that they lack, what they cannot mentally confirm independently. Because your mind cannot confirm paradise nor deny it, and cannot confirm nor deny hell. So you shouldn't confirm it or deny it if you don't have a proof, because you don't have any indication. Someone would say to you, I don't believe in heaven. Telling you, well, why would you deny heaven? He says, I never saw it. Tell him, why would you deny something because you never saw it? That's dumb. This is because although the intellect is definitive about the mental necessity and the mental impossibility, you know what those are, it is neutral about what is mentally possible, because both or all possible matters are equal in the mental judgment. Like, does hell exist or not? Without any revelation, there's nothing for us to use to give weight to one way or the other way. And it could be that an unfavorable consequence is related to one of those possibilities that the mind alone is unable to confirm. Yani, the mind alone is unable to confirm hell. And the mind alone is unable to confirm that some actions are indeed sins. So the mind being unable to confirm these things doesn't mean that those things are not that, yani, that they are not true. If one's mind cannot confirm hell alone, or that some actions are sins, doesn't mean that hell doesn't exist and that those actions aren't sins. So then there's unfavorable consequence related to something that escapes this person's mind. So that's why sending prophets is very important. Allah says in Surah An-Naml, ayah 8, وَيَخْلُقُ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. He creates what you do not know. And he also says, وَبَدَا لَهُم مِّنَ اللَّهِ مَا لَمْ يَكُونُوا يَحْتَسِبُونَ وَبَدَا لَهُم مِّنَ اللَّهِ مَا لَمْ يَكُونُوا يَحْتَسِبُونَ. And on Judgment Day, there appears to them of torture from Allah what they were not anticipating. That's Surah Al-Zumar, Ayah 47. Torture that they were not anticipating will appear for them. Therefore, there must be clarification from someone who has the knowledge about the consequences of matters, so that the individual who's getting this knowledge would approach what has a praiseworthy consequence and avoid what has a disliked consequence. Muslims say that it is confirmed by the irrefutable proofs that the prophets existed and that they acquired the status of prophethood. Their persons existed, and their status of prophethood is true. To deny the prophethood of one of those prophets to deny the prophethood of one whose prophethood is agreed upon, such as Moses, Jesus, Abraham, and Adam. Here, agreed upon and known by necessity. That's important. Let me add this here. To remind you here, what's in red is my own words, and it's like either it's my own words or it might be something that I put by ijaza that I didn't hear. Whatever's in black is what I heard, and whatever's in red is not heard by me, or I could have heard it, but I'm saying it in my own words. So what's in red is my own words. It might be heard, but it's my own words. Or it's ijaza, something I'm conveying by ijaza. So to deny the prophethood of one whose prophethood is agreed upon and known by necessity, such as Moses, Jesus, Abraham, and Adam, is blasphemy. The prophets include Seth, Enoch, Noah, Hud, Salih, Abraham, Ishmael, Isaac, Lot, Shu'aib, Jacob, Joseph, Job, Dhul-Kifl, Jonas, Moses, Aaron, Joshua, Elias, David, Solomon, Zacharias, John, and Jesus. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. And Muhammad makes 25. Back of that. And there's more prophets than that. We'll stop there. But just before I stop, this part that I just added, someone recently asked me a question. I was surprised at the detail that this person was missing because of who was asking me. I wouldn't be surprised if it was someone else. But someone was saying that they were asking me something. And then when I answered them, they said, but it's blasphemy to go against the consensus. So it's not blasphemy to go against the consensus. Meaning not a rule. That's not the rule. The rule is not going against the consensus is blasphemy. And then the person told me, that's what I heard from the lessons. And so I don't know who's saying that. They shouldn't be saying that if someone's saying that. But maybe he thinks he heard that and he didn't hear it. Because that's going to be easy mistake that someone would make. When someone's not strong in the rules of blasphemy, he might think if you go against the consensus, it's blasphemy. That's not the blasphemy. Not by itself. Rather, when it's known in the religion by necessity, when something is known in the religion by necessity, and then you contradict it, then it's blasphemy. Wa subhanallahi wa bihamdih. Do you have any question I can answer for you?
Sheikh Ra'i,
Yes.
those 25 prophets, they were mentioned in which surah?
I don't know if there's one surah that mentions all of them.
I remember there's 25 prophets mentioned in the Mus'haf, and I can't remember if it's in one ayah and one surah.
I don't think the intent of that is one surah.
Okay. Barakallahu
Yani, I never had the impression that what's intended by that is one surah that has all of them. Rather, in the Quran, all of these are mentioned, but not sheath.
but not sheath.
Sheath is not mentioned in the Quran as a prophet.
Okay. And do not give the inshallah.
هكذا. But amongst the surahs that list the prophets is Surah As-Safat, Surah Sad, Surah Al-Anbiya. Those are surahs that actually list prophets. Surah Al-Mu'minun also. Surah Hud. Seth is not mentioned as a prophet in the Quran. Enoch, he is. Idris. وَرَفَعْنَاهُ مَكَانًا عَلِيًّا. He is confirmed in the Quran as a prophet. Noah, Hud, Salih, all these are Shu'aib, Jacob, Joseph, Job, Dhul Kifl. Dhul Kifl is confirmed in the Quran as a prophet, but nothing of his story is mentioned. Jonas, Moses, Aaron, Joshua, Yusha. Where is Yusha mentioned in the Quran as a prophet? I don't know Yusha mentioned in the Quran as a prophet. Elias, David, Solomon, Zacharias, John, and Jesus. وَسُبْحَانَ اللَّهِ وَبِحَمْدِهِ.